We live in a society where success is gauged as being wealthy, respected, or famous. But how do you define success? On this episode, we talk to an exceptional artisan. She's overcome darkness to find bliss in her passion to deliver happiness.
Hi, my name is Nafisa, and this is my success story. So I've always been a creative person, and when I was growing up in my earlier years, I was pretty good at school. Academics-wise, I was doing pretty well. But as the time went on, I showed an affinity for creative things. I used to play piano, I used to paint and draw, I would write, but it wasn't stuff that was typically encouraged, and so it took a bit of a back seat, and what I did was I focused on my academics. But I was privileged enough to be able to travel and study abroad, and I did my undergrad degree in a really great university in Canada. But it was at that time that I fell into, I think because of the separation from home and being so far away, the depression really set in. I would get a clothing iron and I would set it on the ironing board and I would plug it in and I would crank it up to the maximum heat and just wait and watch until that red light had gone off. And then I would pick up this iron and I would sear parts of my flesh off because I just wanted to feel physical pain for this emotional feeling that I was having and I couldn't express. I was really worried about going for counseling because all I kept thinking was, what am I going to say? What am I going to say is the reason for such horrible depression? Because my family loves me. I'm privileged enough to be in a great university, in a great place with really great friends. But I just completely wasn't feeling like I wanted to go on with my life. During those counseling sessions, years of sexual abuse that I had completely suppressed showed up. I had been on various occasions, about a dozen occasions up until that point, been sexually molested from the age of 9. And I guess the trauma of it had made me block it out. And this was not something that I was able to speak to my peers about. It wasn't something I was able to speak to my parents about. Of course not my parents. And I don't know what miracle led me to actually complete my degree. But I did, and the week of my graduation, my father, who was back in Kenya, fell sick. He had a stroke, and I made the decision to come back and take care of him. And I did it for 15 years, for the better part of 15 years. And what happened is towards the end of that 15 years, he got progressively worse. And my depression took it took a bad dip and it became very intense. I felt like I wasn't adequately able to take care of my dad. I wasn't being enough of a support for my mom. I wasn't able to earn enough money. I just wasn't happy. I didn't have a relationship. I didn't have the family and the kids, and I was almost 40 years old. And it was a really difficult time in my life. My father actually died a few weeks after that. And I didn't deal with my grief for losing the man that I loved so much and took care of with all my heart for 15 years. I find that even though I was the one to find him in his chair, slumped over and gone at 4:20 in the morning, it was that same divine intervention that gave me the strength to pull through that time. And even though I might have slumped back into the feelings of depression later on, it was really the thing that I cannot explain, but it gave me an understanding of divinity. And even though I felt like I didn't have this huge sense of purpose, my father was gone, my mother seemed to be able to hold her own. I got divinely guided down the path of learning how to make jewelry. And I truly believe that this is something that I was born to do. I love it so much. It gives me so much joy. And I have such a passion for the connection that it brings me with other people. And I understand that whatever success I was yearning for, or whatever achievements I was hoping to have, were really not the true essence of what would make me happy. And I am in a space now where I am super happy doing the thing that I think that I was born to do, that makes my soul sing and is allowing me to connect so beautifully with other people. So for anyone out there who is also struggling with moments of feeling worthless and struggling with depression, I have found that the easiest way for me to pull myself out of even the depths of the despair is to find a way to do something for someone else. It is a beautiful way, and you know, it doesn't have to be monetary, it doesn't have to be something that you physically give them, but you always are in a position to give something to someone else. My name is Nafisa, and I'm a jewelry designer who's in the business of making women fall in love with themselves over and over again. And this is my success story.